You're listening to the only podcast for Texas AirHogs and American Association Baseball. This is Hog Heaven with your host, Tim Costello, and co-host Zachary Lee. Welcome into Hog Heaven here on your AirHogs Broadcast Network. Take it away, Tim.
Welcome back into another exciting edition of Hog Heaven. Tim Costello joined with the head PGA Pro over at Prairie Lakes Golf Course here in Grand Prairie, Bert Walker. Bert, welcome on the program.
Thanks, Tim. Appreciate it.
You know, we'll kind of get right started with it. I had a chance to get out there on Sunday this week. The course is in great shape, as it always is.
Thank you.
It's got to be tough, though, because here in the DFW Metroplex, in the summertime, we're getting 110-degree heat, and then it was like 15 or 20 degrees just a few weeks ago. So you've got a wide variety of weather that you have to make sure that your course can withstand throughout a year. What kind of things are you guys doing to make sure that you're playable in July just the same way you are in November?
You know, that's a great question. We're really fortunate. We have a great maintenance crew. Got some great professionals that take care of it on a day-to-day, week-to-week, month-to-month basis. Of course, it's kind of hard when you're going against Mother Nature as far as keeping the golf course into a great thing. I wouldn't want their job, but they do a fabulous job on it. Like last year, you know, we had 15 out of 16 weekends that we had rain. So too much moisture affects it. Of course, then we hit the drought in the summertime, and that affects it. And so it's a kind of a constant revolving type thing, but we've got a great staff that does a great job. Yeah,
really do. Not just the staff on the course, but the staff in the pro shop really kind of get your mind going great to have a great round when you're just checking in with everybody. You guys are also doing a great special out there right now where I don't think you can get any better of a deal than what you guys are running. It's $24 for after 11 o'clock. You get 18 holes and a barbecue sandwich, right?
Well, that was a special with Ideal Golfer.
Okay.
And you have to go through the Ideal Golfer website in order to get that deal, but we offered that for the last 2 weeks, and had a lot of people take advantage of it. That's a heck of a deal.
Yeah, you really can't beat that. You're also really big in the junior golf ranks as well. We had a chance to speak with Talia Washington over at South Grand Prairie High School, who really has excelled in the First Tee program. Can you talk a little bit about the First Tee, and also why is that so important to what you think is the future of golf?
Well, I think it's important. I mean, I didn't grow up in the country club like you. I was a municipal kid, and that's where I learned how to play golf, and that's why I love the golf course so much. First Tee of Dallas does a great job. They have events going year-round. We also have a what's called the PGA Junior League team, and Prairie Lakes actually has a team, and it's for kids 14 and under. It's kind of in a team environment. It's like a two-person scramble, and it's really fun. We take on other golf courses in the area too, and so between the First Tee and that, and then our regular junior programs, the key to the growth of the game is to keep getting juniors playing golf.
What kind of things are you doing out there with the kids? Are you doing any clinics, things like that for your team specifically to make sure that, hey, you guys are victorious when you go out there?
Yeah, exactly. So what we usually do as far as the PGA Junior League is that we'll have a practice once a week, and then we'll have a match once a week. So they're getting out there twice, and we actually focus on three aspects of the game, and not to steal from the drive, chip, and putt, but that's really kind of what we work on because it's the three most important parts of the game.
So let's kind of reach out to all those parents out there. They love playing golf. They want to find a way to get their kid interested in golf, right? There's obviously the Tiger Woods aspect of let them hit one ball one day, two balls the next day, but maybe you don't want to have someone obsessive as Tiger Woods as your child.
Right.
What's a great way to, just gradually introduce the game if you want to bring your son or daughter out there with you?
That's a great question. I think the biggest thing is just expose them to the game and get them where they're could come out and learn how to putt first and chip and basically spend time with the parents, which I think is really important. It's a great time for a bonding aspect. And then really just make the game where it's fun. You don't have to play from the blue tees or the white tees, the red tees. You can play from the 150-yard marker and make it to where it's not so mind-blowing experience when they go out and play golf.
You mentioned the tees on which ones you could be playing from. I think that's such a huge advantage that golf has, right? When you go bowling, okay, yeah, you throw the bumpers up, but essentially you're playing a different game at that point.
Right.
Golf is designed that there is a set of tees that is fit for you and what your abilities are. Don't be embarrassed, and use the tees that fit you.
Right, exactly. And the whole key is we're not trying to make PGA Tour players. What we're trying to do is just have fun. Go out there and enjoy spending time out there at the golf course. We don't consider our place a golf course. We consider it a golf community. We want you to go out and have fun and spend some time with us, and then come back and see us down the road within the next week or two.
That's something I've really experienced myself personally out there. I always go out as a single, and I want to get paired with different people out there every time. And I've had just some of the greatest conversations just getting paired up with some random guy who's also out there as a single looking to enjoy his Saturday. Right,
it's crazy, isn't it? You'll meet some new friends and stuff to go out and play golf after doing that too.
Yeah, absolutely. One of the great things about golf, it's business friendly as well, right? Because you've got these 4 hours where you're together on the golf course with someone else. How often do you see that out at your course, where people are bringing somebody out, let's talk some business, let's play some golf, and try and have just a great day all around?
Oh, it's a weekly. We see it all the time, and we have a lot of seniors that play our golf course too. That's their social network too, where they get out and go play 3 or 4 times a week and see their buddies and try to beat them or whatever. But the whole thing is just to get out there and go have fun.
Couple things before we get you out of here. With Christmas coming up, I'm sure there are a lot of people out there interested in maybe doing some lessons or getting some sort of package put together as a little stocking stuff or the big Santa gift for their husband or wife. If they wanted to reach out to you personally and said, Bert, I really want you to take a look at my swing, what's the best way to get in touch with you for something like that?
You can email me at bwalker@gptx.org or call me at the Pro Shop, 972-263-0661.
Fantastic. And before we get out of here, I did want to touch a little bit more on trying to get that college scholarship for golf, right? Because that's, especially in the women's golf ranks, there's almost more unused college golf scholarships than any other sport out there. What would be your recommendations to those young women high school golfers, or people who maybe even think, I wish I could play golf, but I just never had that opportunity? How are you getting into it? How could we get you out there playing college golf?
First off, start getting golf lessons, start early. And then just compete. Just find a love for the game, because again, you in order to become a really good player, you got to spend a lot of time. Like you got to practice, you got to chip, you got to putt, and there's going to be times that you don't want to practice, but you got to get out there and go do it. But you're right, there's a lot of opportunities, especially for young ladies. Men's a little more competitive, but for young ladies, there's definitely scholarships and opportunities out there.
And I think the misconception is too, especially in women's golf, that you've got to shoot near par or low 70s to go play women's golf, and that's not the case. You can be a 3 or 4 woman on a team shooting 80 or 81 and still get a good significant portion of your college education paid for.
Yes.
So we appreciate everyone who tuned in for this Hog Heaven segment. Bert, we appreciate you coming in and joining us. I'm sure I'm going to see you again shortly on the course. I have a little bit of a golf addiction myself, but I got to get it in the off season while I can.
You got it. Thanks so much.
Thanks for having us. We'll be right back after this.
Attention AirHogs fans, have you still not gotten your 2020 season pass? Well, why not? For only $150, you get in the gate for all 50 home games, including playoffs. That's just $3 a game. It's affordable fun the whole family can enjoy. For more information on season passes or booking your next group outing, contact Zach or Kelsey at zlee@texasairhogs.com or karmond@texasairhogs.com. We look forward to seeing you in 2020.
Welcome back in as we continue an exciting edition of Hog Heaven. We are joined with Dustin Perez from GEC Insurance. And Dustin, you're my personal insurance agent, but also you're the guy for a lot of different people out there. We appreciate you coming in on the program here today.
For sure. Thank you so much for having me. This is awesome.
Yeah, so let's kind of hop right into it. How did you get into this? Because when we first met, you're working in the banking world.
Right.
And then out of nowhere, you sent me an email saying, hey, I do insurance now.
Yeah, well, what's funny is you and I think we clicked so well because I was a radio kid. I was a broadcast communications major, kicked around in sports radio, and while you're doing that and trying to make a name for yourself, you're not necessarily making the most money in the world.
Sure.
And
yeah.
My wife one day came to me and said, "Hey, we've been married for 5 years, and I have no idea who you are because you're working 3 jobs trying to live this dream." And eventually, I realized I needed to kind of sell out to the man and start working the corporate job. So I came up in the banking ranks. Worked for multiple banks for about 13 years, and it was a classic story of someone comes in and buys your bank and takes a look at your organization chart and says, well, there's no need to have business development and marketing, so let's go and just get rid of the business development team. Luckily, at that point, I'd already been approached by the owner of GEC Insurance, Eli Gross, and whether or not you're religious or not, I think it was kind of a God thing where it was kind of a kick in the butt saying, hey, go do this insurance thing. And so it's, jumped in with both feet, and it's been a lot to learn, but I really, really enjoy it because you're truly, something that everybody has to have. So if we have to pay for it, why don't you have someone that you can trust to make sure that you're getting the best deal and still getting the best coverages as well?
Absolutely. I think one of the things I've noticed too, especially with car insurance, especially, right? Like my fiance had her insurance agent for a long time. All of a sudden she logs onto her app and her insurance agent has changed. She's never been made aware of any of these things. It's when you have something like that, you want to know the person that you're working with and you want to have that relationship. How important has it been to you to be able to kind of build those relationships with your clients and say, hi, I'm Dustin. I'm going to be here for you when you need me.
Right. I think that's so great because, people don't really know insurance. They might know, the terms like 30, 60, 25 and what their deductible is and where that comes into play. But there's so much involved with, what kind of car you have and even just where, the zip code of where your house is, where you keep your car. Should I make a claim on this? Because, in the long term, losing a claims-free discount, it might cost more than just, paying the $1,200 to fix whatever you need to. And so that's what we're here for. And in GEC, we like those initials because it really means that we get to guide, educate, and consult our customers when it comes to their insurance needs.
Talk a little bit about the guy who brought you in, Eli, because he's kind of very well known in the Arlington area. He's very involved in the community. He's been in the chamber for a long time. Was he kind of part of the reason, too, that you went specifically in insurance? You had a guy who maybe you could trust a little bit versus just going with a big company?
Oh, without a doubt. I met Eli at the Greater Arlington Chamber of Commerce and instantly became friends. And I think anytime that you get an opportunity to work along somebody that you know well, and then that that you can trust based on the years of experience he has in the industry, it was a no-brainer for me to join and work alongside him, and it's an honor to do so.
One of the things I think that was crazy for me is when we first started talking about the coverages I had specifically, I realized I had too much coverage, right? I didn't realize I only needed to have these certain things for full coverage versus what liability is. Talk a little bit about that, how maybe some people out there are being sold these fluff plans where it's a lot more than you actually legally have to have.
Right, and sometimes it's just a matter of you don't know what you don't know. And for example, this morning I looked at someone who was 19 years old, driving a 12-year-old Ford Ranger, and they were covered for $500,000 worth of coverage on this vehicle. And that just doesn't make sense. And so, whether or not that was an agent that placed it there or they were just shopping on their own and just kind of plugging in, the first drop-down option. And that's what we're here for, is just say, yes, it's important to be covered. But, you can be underinsured and you can be overinsured. And that's why I think it's so important, no matter who you talk to, go through an agent and let them use their expertise to kind of guide you along.
I think it's helpful too, right? As when someone's coming to you and they can really trust the quote that you're giving them. I know myself, you saved me probably $50 a month, and then you saved my fiance another $30 a month on hers, and that's just, hey, here's the standard coverage I can give you. I think that starts to build some trust in you as an agent when people realize this guy's just here to give me the best possible rate I can find for the coverage I truly want.
Certainly, and sometimes our star shines the brightest when you give us your information that you're currently paying and the way you're currently covered, and we take a look at it and say, you've got a fantastic deal. We can't touch it. Stay where you are, and unless something changes or upon renewal, your premiums go up, then we'll take a look at it again next year. But there's plenty of times where that happens, where we just say, you've got a great deal. Stay exactly where you are, and I think that's important to really have that honesty, and hopefully, no matter who you're working with, you're getting that from your agent.
How much do you see a turnover in the insurance side of things, especially when you're building relationships with people? I would think, hey, most of those people are staying with you for quite some period of time, and you're really only gaining more people than anything.
That's the hope, and we're really aggressive on making sure that we're staying on top of our renewals. And us being an independent insurance agency means that we can write for multiple carriers. So, living in such a volatile area in North Texas where we see hailstorms and tornadoes and high straight line wind damage all the time, some insurance companies might say, wow, we took a bath in 2019, we need to pull back. So their renewals might be high come 2020, but us being an independent agency, we can shop those multiple carriers. So that way, if someone did have a 20% increase on their premium, we can shop that and see if we can find them either, something cheaper than what they had before or right in line with what they had before. So it's definitely important for us to try to retain the customers we have by making sure that we're on top of their renewals and making sure that they're not ever being charged too much on their insurance.
Now, if someone's watching this and they're thinking, I'm being charged too much for my insurance, they wanted to reach out to you specifically, what's the best couple ways, email, phone number, to get in touch with you?
Well, my personal email is dustin@geciinsurance.com. It goes straight to me. My cell phone number is 817-798-1431. I answer all my business calls on that. We have a website, GECinsurance.com, and of course you can find us on Facebook. It's been pretty entertaining lately because we've actually been playing in a bowling league, and each week everybody on the team has a competition to see who gets most strikes that night just within the GEC group. And so we're always passing around the GEC bowling pin trophy, and we're having a lot of fun on there. So be sure to follow us on Facebook as well.
That's quite exciting as a former league bowler myself.
Man, we might need to recruit you.
Hey, you ever need a ringer? I still got the ball in the hall closet.
That would be great. Oh, man. So our owner, really quick, Eli Gross, he calls himself Big Earn. And we had our company Christmas party on Friday. So we got him the Big Earn glass, a ball with the rose petal. Have you ever seen the movie Kingpin?
There you go.
We're excited to see the debut of that this week.
So one of the things you mentioned early on, you're a radio guy as well. You actually have your own sports podcast here locally, Backyard DFW. Talk a little bit about that, because it's a really exciting show. You guys really tackle pretty much all DFW sports from college all the way to the pro ranks.
For sure. I think this is the way that I can justify all that money spent in school by keeping this alive and scratching that itch. But it's me and 3 fraternity brothers from college, and we try to split it up so that way everyone can enjoy the first half of the show where we do pop culture, current events. We stick we check in on notable deaths in the celebrity world. We do local and outlandish news stories. And then the second half, we definitely dive into the sports and cover Cowboys, Rangers, Stars, and Mavericks. And it's been a really fun year to do so. I mean, the Rangers, they kind of were surprising at the beginning of the year, and so we got to kind of ride that wave for a little while until they settled into what we expected them to be. Cowboys are always going to be the Cowboys. I mean, they're the biggest thing in DFW. And then, golly, the Mavs. I mean, having Luka and Kristaps Porzingis, that's been a lot of fun to talk to. So we dive into it. We make picks every week, and you can maybe try to make some money watching us. We have no idea.
Have you? Obviously this is a Mavs-friendly building here, as Donnie Nelson is our owner. But have you kind of found maybe you have a favorite sport that you personally like to cover a little bit? Or I know me, I love baseball, but I still don't miss any of my favorite basketball games or football games either. I love my city and I love my team sports. Have you kind of found yourself being drawn one way, or you love covering your city?
It's really funny because I'm a huge hockey fan. I mean, the Dallas Stars are my number one team, but the problem is I'm doing the show with 3 other guys who probably don't watch a second of regular season hockey. They don't get into it until playoff time. So I could talk hockey all I want, but all I'm going to see is just 3 blank stares, staring back at me. So for the interest of the show and knowing, what a good podcast is, I don't even really get to talk about my favorite team all that much. So really, I mean, it's probably Cowboys, by a long time. And of course, when you're winning, there's plenty to talk about. And when you're losing, golly, the topics are never ending. So, Cowboys definitely rule the roost when we were talking on the podcast.
Is there any chance we can get a screaming Jerry Jones coming at you guys on your podcast?
Yeah.
You were rude. Can you be rude to Jerry Jones at any point?
I'd love to have him drop a cuss word on our show. That would be great.
One of the things I thought had been really cool, I do follow you in the show on Facebook. You guys bring your kids out with you when you do a lot of the recordings. I know I've seen your son with you at baseball games and football games, and the night I was there to record a podcast, there were a lot of kids running around. Why is it so important to you to kind of share these experiences with your son, and I'm sure your hosts are thinking the same thing as well?
Yeah, I think exactly what we're doing right here, and exactly what we do when we do our show is this is going to be the future. I mean, already, my kids are, wanted to be a YouTuber. And so anytime that I can show them the equipment that we're using and the software that we're using and the channels that we're using to present our show, it's only going to benefit him, because that's the way we're going is you can broadcast yourself in this world. So why not show him that, what we do and how we do it. And if he's got that bug, then I'll definitely support him in that. So it's been a lot of fun to do that.
So a lot of potential Cowboy topics coming up this week for the show. A new kicker coming in. There's the news that Jason Garrett, unless he gets the NFC Championship game, won't be coming back. If people are dying for some Cowboys talk this week, where are they finding you? When's the new episode coming out?
Sure, yeah. We plan on doing a show Wednesday night. We do live stream that on Facebook Live. So if you like our page on Facebook, Backyard DFW. We have a website, dfwbys.com, and then we're on everyone's favorite iTunes streams. So Spotify, iHeartRadio, and iTunes, you can find us there. Just search Backyard DFW.
Yeah, we just got to get you to start maybe cover a little AirHogs baseball next season.
I would
and
love
do
to.
some
Yeah,
pop-ins.
I mean, this is such a gym in the middle of the Metroplex, and really, all those people that were belly aching about the new Ranger Stadium and how baseball is meant to be played outdoors. Well, here it is, right here. You still have this beautiful stadium, a great team, and something that I've never seen in your marketing or advertising is this is an outdoor stadium, but every seat is in the shade come first pitch in the middle of the summer, and it's great. You've got the pool in the outfield. You've got these beautiful suites. I mean, this is literally such a hidden gem, and I definitely can't wait for this next season.
Right there with you. I will say, though, I'm someone who has been pushing for indoor baseball as someone who grew up watching baseball indoors. It just seems natural to have a little AC, you know? There's just something about walking into the stadium and it's 72 degrees. You're like, this is nice.
Oh, yeah.
This is...
No, I mean, I'm very excited, but I'm just saying, if someone needs to scratch their itch for outdoor baseball, this is the place to do it because you have a beautiful stadium and a great product.
Absolutely. And of course, we have those 12 air-conditioned suites at the two clubs as well, so we can definitely give you a good mix of the indoor-outdoor experience. But Dustin, I appreciate you coming on and joining us. It's been a great conversation as always. And again, new episode of Backyard DFW coming out Wednesday. I highly recommend hopping on that the Facebook live stream because you guys are pretty goofy with each other. You can tell you've known each other. You can tell that fraternity brother vibe is there.
We probably know a little too much about each other, and that's kind of scary.
That's what a good show has, though. I have to be able to know something about your background that you don't want me to say to keep me in line at the same time.
Oh yeah, no, this has been a blast. Thank you so much for having me. This is so much fun.
It's my pleasure. We look forward to hopefully maybe getting the show out here at some point during the season, and maybe a little live podcast from AirHogs Stadium.
That would be great. Thank you so much.
We'll be right back after this.
Attention AirHogs fans, have you still not gotten your 2020 season pass? Well, why not? For only $150, you get in the gate for all 50 home games, including playoffs. That's just $3 a game. It's affordable fun the whole family can enjoy. For more information on season passes or booking your next group outing, contact Zach or Kelsey at zlee@texasairhogs.com or karmond@texasairhogs.com. We look forward to seeing you in 2020.
Welcome back into our final segment here on Hog Heaven. Tim Costello joined once again with our Assistant General Manager, Justin Terry. Justin, we appreciate you coming back on the program here again today.
Thanks for having me, Tim.
One of the things we're here to talk about is a very exciting opportunity the AirHogs have, and that's our internship program. I know you were a baseball intern at one point. I was a baseball intern at one point. Zach Lee was our intern last year. This is a very important program, not just to ourselves, but to the future of the game.
It is very important. I mean, it helps, every team, it helps run the day-to-day. Without the interns, we couldn't help run, ushering, our on-field promotions, box office, everything that we do on a day-to-day basis, it's helped run by interns.
Not only that, too, if you want to have a career in this industry, at some point you're probably going to have to do some sort of internship, most of which are going to be unpaid, unfortunately. That's just the way the world of baseball works. But why is it, Justin, that if you want to break into this field, into this sport specifically, really, you're not doing it straight out of college without some sort of internship?
Yeah, the internship is very important because baseball is a tight-knit group. Everybody knows everybody. So once you get your foot in the door and you have that internship program, you start to realize that other teams know each other, and you can get your foot in the door with one team and possibly get a job with that team going on up or somewhere else.
No, it's absolutely right. It's an incestuous industry, really, at the end of the day. And you're absolutely right. What you do with this team and this internship really plays out for every team across the country for the most part. I was lucky enough, I interned with a team in Sugar Land where our previous GM, JT, was the AGM. Eventually he becomes the GM here, and because of my internship, I had the knowledge of the people who were running this team and was able to get over here.
Exactly. Same way, when I was in Midland, I was under Russ Pinkerton, and he just knew some people, gave me some good references, ended up in Florida. And then now I'm here, it's a building block, and the bottom part of the pyramid is the internship program.
And I think what's cool about, especially the AirHogs internship specifically, we give these young students a chance to really get hands-on in the industry within baseball that they're very, very interested in. For me, it was a broadcast internship. We give our interns literal airtime every single game, 3 innings on air with myself. Zach can speak about that a little later here in the program, but he was a beneficiary of that last year. If you're interested in being a GM in a league one day, Nate takes an intern or 2 of his own and kind of works as a right-hand man with them. Or we have the people who want to do promos, who want to run the stuff on the field. We do those kind of internships. So you really get a good view of what happens in a baseball stadium before the game ever even starts.
Absolutely, and I think we're going to tweak the internship program a little bit this year, and we're going to make it where I don't want to hire you on as an intern where you think, oh, I want to do promotions, and then after the first week, you hate it. We're going to do a rotation this year where, 1 week, one homestand, you might be on field doing promotions. The next week, you might be in the box office selling tickets. Next week, you might be doing fan engagement with the kids zone, stuff like that. And the next week, you might be in the press box doing behind-the-scenes stuff. So we're going to make it where the internship program where you get a well-rounded versatility out of it.
One of the things I thought was very cool during my internship as well was just realizing what goes into making a baseball game happen every single night. I think a lot of fans out there, they show up at 7:05, they're ready for first pitch, and they go home at 10:30, and they say, what a great night. They don't realize maybe we get here at 10 o'clock in the morning every single day to even make that game possible. And I think one of the things I learned the most in my internship was items 1 through 20 have to happen before we even open the gates for anybody.
Absolutely, and that's where, the internship program, comes into play because they learn that stuff hands-on. They may go to a Rangers game and be like, oh, this was great, but they don't see that behind the scenes where you have your ticket sales that make, the stands full. You have your on-field promotions that it takes, a couple of hours to get everything ready for. Headshots, graphics, everything. There's a lead up to every game.
You've actually already started your interview process for next season's group of interns. What are you looking for specifically? When you see the ultimate candidate for an AirHogs internship, what's that resume look like?
I would like it to be someone that has maybe a little bit of experience, but not a whole lot. Because, if you have too much experience, you're not going to get anything out of the internship program. So a little to no experience, and ideally I'd like them to be, like a junior going into their senior year of college. That way, when they start interviewing for jobs, they can go out there after their senior year and actually find something.
Absolutely. And one of the things, I actually have to do my own set of interviews as well for my personal intern. And one of the things I always look for is that passion, right? Because we work a lot of hours in the baseball season. We're here for 13, 14 hours a day. And the reason we do it is because we love the game that we work for. I think one of the most important things when you're doing these interviews is finding someone that's passionate about this industry, passionate about this sport, because otherwise they're going to get burned out pretty quickly.
Yeah, definitely. You have to find somebody that wants to be here every day. We've had interns in the past that after 2 weeks, they're like, this isn't for me. You got to make sure during the interview process you weed them out. Because if not, you're stuck with 3 interns instead of the 10 you need.
Yeah, and we can bring Zach in on this as well, as he was our broadcast intern last year. He can really speak to just the level of passion and desire you want to have to be in this industry to go through a pretty involved internship.
No, it really is. You get a lot of hands-on. It's kind of like what Jess was talking about with the rotations. You might come in thinking you're going to do one thing. Once you get in here and you start, actually seeing what it takes to run that team, you might realize you want to do something entirely different. And I don't know, I really like just the amount of opportunities working in a place like this has. You get to wear a lot of different hats. You get to gain a lot of different kind of experience, and it's really valuable moving forward. Last summer, some of the things I took on that I learned, I wasn't really expecting, to get my hands into that sort of thing, but the time we spent on the broadcast, being able to get actual airtime, develop a real, like you said, we may not have been getting paid, but that was almost invaluable in and of itself, getting the actual real-time experience, airtime, things like that. It's something that, it was really a nice experience, probably one of the better ones I've had so far.
And what's cool too, Justin, about the AirHogs in general is we hire our interns. I think when you look at the pattern, especially of the last 3 seasons, we hired Zach off our internship crew. The year before, we hired a salesperson that was an intern. And then you look at our current general manager right now, He interned 3 years ago, was hired as a salesperson, promoted to a vice president, and now is running the entire baseball organization here in Grand Prairie.
Absolutely. I mean, our ownership group really likes to promote from within, and they told us that one day, as JT left, and they promoted us all from within. I think that speaks volumes to our internship program as well. Like you said, we hired, Jason last year, hired Zach, Kelsey, who was an intern with us 2 years ago, hired her on full time. We brought her back. There's just many things that you can see that we hire from within, and it's a great ownership group to be a part of.
And I think that's pretty rare. It really is to consistently have a track record of hiring your interns. I know when I did my internship, they didn't hire a single person from that group of interns. It was essentially just free labor, and I've done internships at radio stations where it's the exact same thing. The only guy hired happened to be a former NFL player who was just going through an internship to get experience. So the chance of competing with a guy who played running back in the NFL for an on-air position, not looking great. But then you come in here and you see a track record of the past, I think, 4 openings that we've had to fill have all come from our internships.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think we've only hired one person from outside, and that just speaks volumes to where this ownership group is. They really promote from within. I mean, take Malcolm, for instance, over with the Texas Legends. He's running the whole Legends organization now, and he started as an intern there and worked his way up.
Unpaid intern as well.
Exactly.
Created a whole sales program and built one of the most successful G League basketball teams in the history of that league, realistically.
Absolutely.
If anyone's interested, Justin, in becoming an intern for the Texas AirHogs, what is that process like? How do they reach out to you? How do they set up an interview? And what are you looking for them to come in and have a conversation?
Yeah, I mean, like I said, our internship program is college credit. We really want somebody that's looking for college credit or that experience. They can email me at jterry@texasairhogs.com and send me a resume, and then we'll just go from there, look over the resume and set up an interview and get them out to the ballpark, show them around, and see if it's something they want to do.
And you heard it here first and foremost. If you're interested in doing a general AirHogs internship, reach out to jterry@texasairhogs.com. If you're interested in a broadcast internship, reach out to me, tcostello@texasairhogs.com, and be sure to include your reel so we know what you sound like. But Justin, we appreciate you coming in and joining us. The internship program that we run here at the AirHogs is probably my favorite thing that we do. I love being able to kind of grow that next generation of people who want to work in this sport. And it's just exciting to start meeting these people who have the dreams of working in baseball that we once did.
Absolutely. I mean, just getting to know the people, like last year, with Cody Rimko and Austin and all those guys, it was good seeing them, start off for the first week, and they're, yes sir, no sir, really but then they really got, comfortable around us and was a part of the AirHogs family.
Yeah, absolutely. There's a locker room down there, right? The players have their own locker room, but realistically, we kind of have our own locker room vibe in the front office during a season. It's a long season. It takes a lot of camaraderie to get through that. And it's whether you're an intern, a full-time employee, or just a game day employee, we have that camaraderie here. We want to get through it together. And even those interns who, didn't stay with us for their full-time job this year, we've had a couple who have been hired already for their full-time jobs in sports for the next season. One of our broadcast interns, Malik, is working for a radio station and doing some sports reporting for a local newspaper covering high school football. And we couldn't be happier for those guys getting their opportunities out in the world.
Absolutely, absolutely. I mean, and I think it speaks volumes that our interns are going out and getting things, It's just the experience speaks for itself.
Again, one last time, if you're interested in a general AirHogs internship, reach out to jterry@texasairhogs.com. Send that resume over, and we'll be sure to take a look at it and set up an interview. If you're interested in a broadcasting internship, reach out to me, tcostello@texasairhogs.com, and be sure to include a reel along with that resume. That looks like it's going to be all the time we have here for this week's edition of Hog Heaven. As always, we appreciate everybody who joined us, from Bert Walker, Dustin Perez, and of course our AGM Justin Terry. We want to remind everybody, be sure to get those internship applications in as soon as possible. There are limited spots available for our 2020 AirHogs interns. We appreciate everyone again who joined us. We will see you next week in Hog Heaven.